Good morning. It is about 8 o'clock and I've got to go to the grocery store. I don't have Ben this week, and so I'm not really wanting to do a big grocery shopping trip. Plus it's hot and I don't have to carry up all these groceries. Today is also the first day of school, and so there's school buses and kids and parents scrambling. I always think back to school is exciting because it's just a fresh start to something, you know. It's a change in the vibe, I guess. Last night's jam was so freaking amazing. I am so proud of just everyone who shows up for that. And you just never know. You never know who's going to show up and do their thing on a jam night. And so I'm just really blessed to be able to participate with what part I do. And Wednesday's always super fun because I end up getting really busy hostessing almost, because it's so incredibly busy and those poor waitresses don't have enough help. And so I'm bussing tables, greeting people, making sure everybody's okay, checking on wings, because sometimes those 50-cent wings take up to an hour to get to your table just because there are so many people there. And then also the vibe of just the musicians having that energy to play in front of somebody. And so I just think it's really cool and fun, and it was just a great night last night. We had some very special guests. My good friend Dennis Davis, who's well known in Tucson. He's a phenomenal player. He and Donnie can play off each other like, I don't know, it's fire. But we actually had a special guest, Jimmy Crimmins, who's really good friends with Eddie Van Halen. It's just amazing who shows up to these jams, who moves to Tucson, who's heard about Deacon. Just floored and humbled all the time. And I'm so glad that my part of it is just presenting the musicians and helping them to be seen in the world. That just sets my soul on fire. I don't want any of it to be about me because I'm not the musician. Last night I ended up eating three chicken wings because I was really, really hungry. And what had happened the night before, I was fasting, remember that day? So, but that night I ended up doing a couples dance with a fellow who was very dancey. I don't like to couple dance because I like to have my own vibe, and then also because I'm always slightly worried that they're going to accidentally grab my tube and my port. And so that would be disastrous. So that's why I really don't couple dance. He was really good and very patient and a very strong leader. He was able to do a spinny kind of thing with me, which was really fun, but very tiring. And so I think that made me super tired. And then Wednesday, of course, fasting as well. And I did have a banana earlier in the day just to give me my potassium. And I was so hungry at the jam. I thought, okay, I'll just eat 4 wings. I ended up eating just 3. And then I just felt rejuvenated. And I think it's probably because it was protein. So anyways, today, I don't feel hungry at all. It's Thursday, so technically I could eat tonight, which I might, once I get to the grocery store and think about what we might want to eat. I just don't really want something super heavy. And unfortunately, beef right now is so expensive. Just trying to take it step by step. So I ran out here to, I had to run an errand out to the Dollar Tree because this Saturday I'm going to be doing the art show again. And I know that they always have the hangers that I want. What I really like too about this area is that they have this code of conduct signs. And so there's nobody standing around like loitering. I drove to the northern east side of Tucson, which is kind of the Sabino Canyon, Mount Lemmon, Bear Canyon area, and it's so pretty up here. It's only about 10-15 minutes from our house, so it's not a big deal, but I really like their dollar store because it's so clean and organized. Even though there's a dollar store like literally 3 minutes from my house at Fry's, but I don't know. Plus, this store always has, for the most part, things I need or things I've seen other places that run out really fast. So I'm doing the art show this Saturday, which means that I need to have hangers because it was just easier to start hanging Ben's clothes, mostly because he's wearing button-up shirts, like business shirts, but not. I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, so because of that, it's just better to not put them in the drawer, regardless of how well he tries to fold them. So I went ahead and used my little rack in his room so he could hang his shirts, but I'm going to need to take them off and then go ahead and use that rack this weekend to hopefully sell quite a few clothing items that I have. But I needed the hangers, so decided to make it a go and come over here. I don't really shop Safeway. I'm just so used to Fry's. As for me, it's just easier to not get in and out of the car when it's hot, and it's just easier to not overspend. And so, but I will have to say that Safeway was so nice. I actually ended up helping a couple of gentlemen with their app so that they could get their savings on the eggs, because they had cage-free eggs for $1.27 and the limit was 2. But it's tricky because you have to basically link your coupon with your phone number on your account. And so if you're not really too savvy, and again, this is new for me because I feel like at Fry's, it's almost like once you buy it, you're just saving. It's not like you have to jump through hoops. But nonetheless, I helped these gentlemen out, and they were so cute because they're just like, oh, thank you, we don't know what we're doing, and so it can be a little difficult, which is probably why I don't really shop there very often. But nonetheless, I got my eggs because we eat them. I think I'm going to make pho today because I'm going to eat today, at least a regular meal, and I just love pho anyways, so I'm excited. But I did get another noodle packet that is very small, and it's actually labeled pho noodles, because last time I made plenty, but there's 3 of us, and so this time I really need to add more chicken because I think Donnie would appreciate the more chicken, and I need to make less of it, even though I'm adding more chicken to it, because Donnie has to feel fulfilled. And poor guy, last night, he was so tired, and he got overstimulated, which is interesting. Being an introvert, he had to go outside a couple times and being an introvert, and then also being a very heavy, large crowd, and then also having music going on and being a musician, I think was overwhelming for him. And so he totally just needed to go outside, chill, close his mind off. So when it was his turn to play with these guys, which was the Jimmy guy I mentioned, Dennis Davis, and Tom, who's an excellent bass player, and then Craig, who I call my brother because he's just a great guy. He really wanted to be prepared to do his best for that. And so that was the first time where I've really witnessed him being really overwhelmed with sound. So I'm going to look into some headphones that he could wear maybe at the jams, because although everybody plays their soul out and with their heart, that doesn't mean you necessarily sound really good. But that's what a jam is for. It's for you to practice. It's for you to experience new things. It's for you to say, oh crap, that didn't work, or whatever the case may be. And it's for you to feel challenged. And so I just think him being a musician was really being overstimulated and then over-analyzing what people were doing, because a lot of times he'll often tell me, they've got to tune the guitar, or they're in the wrong key. And so he picks up on stuff like that a lot. So I think I will get him some headphones that will help him to quiet the sound between sets, perhaps. But I figured if I make the pho is just so soothing to me and relaxing, and it's brothy, and he and I can just chill with minimal noise perhaps tonight, just to give him a break from sound. He does work outside all day in nature. He is a tree surgeon, so his job keeps him outside in this horrid Tucson weather. So I'm thinking that the pho saltiness is going to be super amazing for his body. And then we've been watching Lost lately, which is super cool. You do have to have an open mind with it, because it's certainly one that you have to pay some attention to, because it can really get you lost. But it's basically about a plane crash that disappears, and people think they're all dead when they're not dead, and they're trying to survive the island with people who have already inhabited the island, and then the story behind that, and the story, so it's a very long series. It is on Hulu. I watched it the first time when it was on television, and every week I'd have to wait for the next episode, and that is just killer, which is one of the reasons I love streaming, because you don't have to wait. You can totally binge watch if you want to. But the show is, I think it's considered drama. I don't know that it would be really considered thriller. It might have been back in the day, but because of that, and because it's ocean and water and jungle and survivalist kind of mood, then I think it's calming, and so that'll be excellent to watch tonight. And I think we're almost done. So, I enjoy his presence and his character, because he is so calm anyways. And so I just have to make sure, being an extrovert, that I'm not overwhelming him with my outgoing, bubbly self. Sometimes I have to remind myself that he's overstimulated. So anyways, that's my adventure today. I'm going to go ahead and head upstairs. I do have to do my exchange. All right, drink your water. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.